It was a chilly afternoon in a small, quiet town. The sun was dipping low, casting a golden glow over the narrow streets lined with old houses. Leaves rustled gently in the wind, and the air carried the faint smell of baked bread from a nearby bakery. A teenage girl named Lily walked slowly along the sidewalk, her school bag swinging lightly from her shoulder. She liked this time of day when everything seemed calm, and she could think about little things without being rushed. As she walked past the corner store, something caught her eye. Lying on the edge of the sidewalk was a small glint of metal. Curious, Lily bent down and picked it up. It was a set of keys shining in the sunlight. The keychain had a small leather tag, but there was no name on it. She held the keys in her hand and looked around, hoping to spot someone who might have dropped them. But the street was quiet and no one seemed to notice them. Lily felt a small twinge of worry. Keys were important. They could belong to someone's house, car, or even a business. Whoever lost them must be anxious, maybe even frantic. She didn't like the idea of leaving them on the street where anyone could take them. She slipped the keys into her pocket and decided to ask around. Maybe someone in the neighborhood recognized them. She first went to the house closest to where she had found the keys. It was an old brick house with ivy climbing up the walls. She knocked gently on the door. A middle-aged woman opened it, wiping her hands on a kitchen towel. Lily held out the keys. "Hi, I found these on the sidewalk."
"Did you lose them?"
she asked politely. The woman shook her head. "No, I haven't lost any keys," she said with a kind smile. "But thank you for being honest. It's nice to see someone looking out for others." Lily thanked her and moved on. She went down the street, checking the houses one by one. At the next house, an elderly man was tending to his garden. Lily approached him, holding the keys out. "Excuse me, sir. Did you drop these?" The man squinted at the keys. No, I don't think so. But that's very thoughtful of you, young lady." He patted her shoulder kindly. "It's rare to see someone take the time to return lost things these days." "Good on you." Lily smiled but felt a little frustrated. No one seemed to recognize the keys, and she didn't know where else to go. She walked further down the street, thinking about what she could do. She could leave them at the police station, but that seemed a little far. Besides, she wanted to try her best to find the owner herself. There had to be a way. As she walked, she noticed the bakery she passed earlier. The warm smell of fresh bread made her stomach rumble. She decided to go in for a moment. While standing in line, she glanced at the keys again. They looked ordinary, but something about them seemed special. Maybe they were for an important place, she thought. She felt a small sense of responsibility. Finding the owner became more than just a small task. It felt like a mission. After buying a small pastry, Lily stepped back onto the street. She walked slowly, thinking about how she could figure out who the keys belonged to. Her mind raced through possibilities. Maybe someone had dropped them while hurrying home from work, or maybe they belonged to someone visiting the neighborhood. She decided she would ask at a few more places before giving up. She reached a small park at the end of the street. Children were playing on the swings, and parents were chatting on benches. Lily approached a man sitting on a bench reading a newspaper. "Excuse me," she began, "did you lose these keys?" The man looked up and shook his head. "No, sorry, I didn't, but thank you for trying to find the owner. That's very responsible of you." Lily thanked him and walked along the edge of the park. She felt a little discouraged, but she refused to give up. She thought about how she would feel if she lost something important. She knew she had to keep trying. As the sun started to set, she realized she had been walking for over an hour. Her legs were tired, but she couldn't stop now. On her way back home, she passed a quiet street where a few cars were parked. One of them caught her eye. It was a shiny black car with a slightly open gate leading to a large house behind it. Lily wondered if the keys could belong to one of the houses there. She approached carefully, not wanting to intrude. An older man was trimming some bushes near the driveway. Lily hesitated for a moment and then spoke up. "Excuse me, sir, I found these keys on the street."
"Did you lose them?"
The man stopped his work and looked at her. He took the keys from her hand and examined them closely. "Well, well," he said with a small smile. "These look familiar. Where did you find them?" Lily told him the exact spot. The man nodded. "Ah, I must have dropped them when I was coming back from town this morning. Thank you so much for returning them. Not many people would go out of their way to do this." Relief washed over Lily. She smiled shyly. "I just wanted to make sure they got back to the right person," she said. The man chuckled softly. "I appreciate that. Most people would just leave them or hand them over to someone else. You've got a good heart, young lady. Lily felt proud. She had spent the whole afternoon searching, and it had paid off. The man, noticing her interest, gestured to the cars parked in his driveway. You know, if you want, you can come inside for a moment. I'll make sure you don't get in trouble for wandering around. Lily hesitated, then nodded. She had never been inside a house like this before. The driveway led to a large garage, and inside were several shining cars, each more impressive than the last. She could hardly believe her eyes. The man noticed her amazement and laughed. I own a small car dealership in town. These are some of the models we have on display. Lily listened carefully as he explained the different cars. She was fascinated, but she didn't want to seem rude or too curious. Still, she couldn't help glancing at each vehicle, admiring the polished surfaces and elegant designs. The man watched her quietly and then said, You know, not many teenagers would take the time to return lost keys. That shows a lot about your character. Lily smiled. I just thought it was the right thing to do, she replied. The man nodded, impressed. It is. And sometimes doing the right thing brings unexpected rewards. As Lily left the driveway, keys returned safely to their owner. She felt a warm sense of satisfaction. The day had started like any other, but it had turned into an experience she would never forget. The thought of walking past the quiet streets and finding the keys seemed so ordinary, yet the result had been extraordinary. She realized that small acts of kindness could have big effects, even if one couldn't see them immediately. Walking home, Lily thought about the shining cars. The kind words of the man and the importance of honesty. She felt proud, not just for returning the keys, but for staying patient and determined. The streets were quiet now, and the sky was turning soft shades of orange and pink as the sun set. She knew this was just the beginning of something new, something she couldn't quite imagine yet. The day had started with a simple walk home, but it had led her to a moment she would remember for a long time, a moment that showed her the value of doing the right thing, no matter how small it seemed. The next day, Lily woke up to a bright, crisp morning. She could feel the excitement bubbling in her chest, though she wasn't entirely sure why. Yesterday's simple act of returning the lost keys had somehow made her feel more connected to her town, to the people around her. She had spent hours walking the streets, asking strangers if they recognized the keys, and now it seemed like everything had come full circle. The old man with the keys had been grateful, yes, but it felt like something else had shifted in her life, something she couldn't quite put into words. After finishing breakfast, Lily decided to head to the park for a walk. It had become one of her favorite places, especially on days when she felt like thinking. As she strolled past the swings and the sandbox, she couldn't help but notice how different the park seemed today. The same old trees, the same grass, but everything felt new, almost as if the park had transformed overnight. Lily had always loved the quiet and peaceful mornings. The sun was still low in the sky, casting long shadows, and there weren't many people around yet. She sat on a bench and pulled out her phone, idly scrolling through the messages she had missed while she was out yesterday. As she was reading a message from a friend, a voice interrupted her. Hey, you're the one who returned those keys yesterday, right? Lily looked up to see a man standing a few feet away. He was well-dressed, wearing a jacket that looked expensive. She hadn't seen him around before, but something about him seemed familiar. Maybe it was his confident demeanor or the way he carried himself. Yes, I am, she replied, standing up from the bench. Did you lose some keys? The man smiled, his eyes sparkling. No, he said. But I heard about you. I'm the one who owns that car dealership you visited yesterday. I wanted to thank you again for returning my keys. You didn't have to go out of your way like that. Lily blinked, surprised. You're the one with the shiny cars? He nodded. That's right. My name's Mr. Stone. I wanted to personally thank you, and I was wondering if you might want to come by the dealership sometime. We're having a special event this weekend, and I thought you might like to see the cars up close. Lily felt her heart race. She wasn't used to being invited to such events, especially not something that seemed as fancy as a car showroom. I don't know, she said nervously. I'm just a teenager. I'm not really into cars like that. Mr. Stone smiled again. You don't need to be a car enthusiast. It's more about the experience, plus it's a chance to see something new. You've already shown so much kindness by returning my keys. It would be great to have you there. Lily hesitated for a moment. She wasn't sure if she wanted to go, but there was something about his invitation that felt genuine. Okay, she said. I'll come by. Mr. Stone's face lit up. Fantastic. I'll make sure you get the VIP treatment. I'll see you then. He waved and walked off, leaving Lily standing there, still unsure of what had just happened. As the day went on, Lily couldn't stop thinking about the invitation. She wasn't sure what to expect from a car dealership event, but the idea of seeing fancy cars up close seemed intriguing. Plus, she had already done something kind yesterday, and now someone was offering her a chance to experience something new. She didn't want to let the opportunity slip by. The weekend came faster than Lily expected. She spent most of the morning preparing, not sure how to dress for a car showroom event. She didn't have any fancy clothes, but she chose a nice blouse and a pair of jeans that felt comfortable, yet presentable. When the time came, she took a deep breath and left her house, walking towards the dealership. It wasn't far from her neighborhood, and she knew the area well. Still, as she approached the dealership, she couldn't help but feel nervous. The dealership looked bigger than she remembered. The front was shiny and modern, with large glass windows that gave a glimpse of the cars inside. The entrance was wide, and a few people were standing outside, talking and laughing. She walked inside, her steps slow and cautious. A receptionist greeted her warmly. "Welcome. You must be Lily. Mr. Stone is expecting you," she said with a smile, gesturing toward a door at the back of the showroom. Lily nodded and walked toward the door. She wasn't sure what to expect, but she felt a little bit out of place in this fancy environment. She entered the showroom and her eyes widened. The cars on display were even more stunning up close, their polished surfaces gleaming under the bright lights. There was one car that caught her attention, an electric blue sports car that looked like something out of a dream. Just then, Mr. Stone appeared beside her. "I'm glad you could make it," he said, his voice cheerful. "Take a look around. I want to show you something special." Lily followed him as he led her through the showroom. He explained the features of each car, pointing out things like the engines, the designs, and the technology inside. Though Lily didn't know much about cars, she was fascinated by how passionate he was when he spoke about them. He made each car seem like a work of art. As they walked around, more people began to arrive. They were all dressed in fine clothes, chatting excitedly about the cars. Lily felt a bit out of place but tried to blend in, nodding politely when people spoke to her. She couldn't help but feel like everyone was watching her, wondering who she was and why she was there. Mr. Stone seemed to sense her discomfort and turned to her with a reassuring smile. "Don't worry, Lily, you're the reason we're here today. Without your kindness, this whole event wouldn't have happened. I wanted to make sure you felt appreciated." Lily smiled, feeling a little more at ease. She had never expected anything like this when she had returned the keys. She had simply done the right thing, and now here she was, surrounded by people who were admiring luxury cars and enjoying themselves. Just as she was starting to relax, a voice from behind caught her attention. "I hear you're the girl who returned Mr. Stone's keys," a woman said, walking up to her with a curious look. "That was really kind of you." Lily turned to face her. The woman had a warm smile and a friendly look in her eyes. She introduced herself as Mrs. Adams, and before long the two of them were talking about the event and the cars. Lily felt more comfortable now, the earlier nervousness fading away as she found herself getting caught up in the conversation. As the evening went on, Lily found herself enjoying the event more than she had expected. The cars were incredible, and the people she met were kind and welcoming. She even found herself laughing at jokes and sharing stories. It was strange, but in a good way. The world she had entered seemed so different from her usual life, and yet, she was starting to feel like she belonged there. When the event started to wind down, Mr. Stone came over to her again. "I'm glad you enjoyed yourself," he said with a grin. "You've been a great guest. I hope you don't mind, but I've arranged a small surprise for you." Lily raised an eyebrow, surprised. "A surprise?" He nodded. "Yes, it's something I think you'll appreciate. I'll let you see it later." Lily was curious, but she didn't want to get her hopes up. Still, the day had been full of surprises already, and she was eager to see what else was in store. Lily stood near the edge of the showroom, feeling the hum of excitement in the air. She had been at the event for hours, and the room was starting to empty out. People were chatting, laughing, and admiring the cars, but Lily was feeling a bit distracted by what Mr. Stone had said earlier. He had promised a surprise, and she couldn't help but wonder what it might be. She tried to push her curiosity aside, but it was hard not to imagine the possibilities. What if it was a gift? A special offer? She wasn't sure, but the thought lingered in her mind. After a few more minutes, Mr. Stone approached her with a warm smile. "I'm glad you've had a good time," he said, his voice calm and friendly. "Now about that surprise?" Lily's heart skipped a beat. "What surprise?" she asked, trying to keep her voice steady. Mr. Stone chuckled. "I knew you'd be curious. Come with me." He led her to the back of the showroom, away from the crowd, and opened a door that led to a small private room. Inside was a desk with a few papers and a chair beside it. The room was simple but elegant, with a large window overlooking the parking lot where the cars were parked. But the real surprise wasn't in the room itself. It was what was sitting outside the window. Lily's eyes widened as she saw a car parked in front of the window, just a few feet away. It was the same electric blue sports car she had admired earlier in the showroom, but now it wasn't just on display, it was right there waiting for her. The shiny exterior gleamed under the sunlight, the polished surface reflecting the sky above. The car looked almost too perfect to be real. "This is for you," Mr. Stone said, his tone soft and genuine. "I wanted to show my appreciation for your kindness. You returned my keys without a second thought, and you've been nothing but kind and respectful, so I thought you deserved something special." Lily was speechless. She looked from the car to Mr. Stone, her mind racing. "What do you mean?" she asked, still trying to process what was happening. "You're giving me a car?" Mr. Stone nodded. "Yes, I am. This car is yours, Lily. I know it might seem overwhelming, but you've done something so rare, returning something that didn't belong to you. That kind of honesty and integrity is hard to come by, and I wanted to reward it in a way that felt right." Lily took a step back, unsure if she had heard him correctly. "But I can't accept this. It's too much. I'm just a teenager. I don't even have a driver's license yet." Mr. Stone smiled kindly, his eyes full of understanding. "I know, you don't need to worry about that. The car is yours to keep, but I'm sure we can work out the details when you're ready. For now, I want you to understand that this is a gift, not an obligation." Lily still couldn't wrap her head around it. A car for her? She had always been content with the simple things in life, and the idea of owning something so luxurious felt out of reach. "I don't know what to say," she whispered, almost in disbelief. "You don't have to say anything," Mr. Stone replied. "Just know that you're deserving of it. I hope it reminds you that small acts of kindness can lead to incredible things." Lily stood there for a moment, taking in the words. She didn't know if she could fully accept the car yet, but she felt something inside her shift. The idea that her actions, something as simple as returning lost keys, could lead to something so big was almost too much to comprehend. "Thank you," she finally said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I don't know how I'll ever repay you for this." "You've already repaid me," Mr. Stone said, his voice warm. "By being yourself, by doing what you felt was right. That's more than enough." They stood there for a few more moments, the weight of the surprise settling in. Lily couldn't quite believe it, but at the same time she knew this moment would stay with her forever. The idea that a small act of kindness could lead to something so unexpected was both humbling and inspiring. She couldn't wait to tell her family about what had happened, though she was certain they would be just as shocked as she was. Eventually, Mr. Stone led her back to the main showroom, where the last few guests were starting to leave. As they walked, he casually mentioned that the car would be fully maintained and insured for the next few months, giving Lily time to figure out the details. He also mentioned that there would be a team available to help her learn about the car's features once she was ready to take it for a spin. The idea of driving a car like that, especially one that had been given to her, felt surreal. She had never imagined that such an opportunity could come her way. But now that it had, she realized how important it was to not take it for granted. She didn't want to lose sight of what truly mattered: kindness, integrity, and doing the right thing. As the evening came to an end, Lily said her goodbyes to Mr. Stone and the other guests, thanking them for the wonderful experience. She felt a mix of excitement and disbelief as she walked out of the dealership, her mind still reeling from everything that had happened. When she got home, she couldn't wait to tell her family. She walked in the door, barely able to contain her excitement. Her mom was sitting at the kitchen table reading a book. Lily rushed over to her, practically bursting with energy. "Mom, you won't believe what happened today." Her mom looked up, surprised by the excitement in Lily's voice. "What happened, sweetheart?" Lily took a deep breath and sat down beside her. I was given a car. A real car. Mr. Stone, the guy from the dealership, he gave it to me. Her mom stared at her, her eyes wide with disbelief. A car? Lily, are you serious? Lily nodded enthusiastically. Yes. It's this amazing blue sports car. I can't believe it. He said it was because I returned his keys and he wanted to reward me for being kind. Her mom shook her head, still trying to process the information. I don't know what to say, Lily. This is incredible. I know, Lily said, her voice full of wonder. I don't know if I'm ready for all of this, but it feels like everything's changing. And I want to make sure I don't lose sight of what really matters. Her mom smiled and hugged her tightly. You've always had a good heart, Lily. I'm proud of you. And I know that whatever happens next, you'll handle it with the same honesty and kindness you always have. Lily smiled, feeling the warmth of her mom's words. She didn't know what the future held, but she knew that whatever came her way, she would approach it with the same integrity and kindness that had led her to this moment. The next few days passed in a blur for Lily. After receiving the car, she had to take a step back and process everything. Her life felt different, yet everything around her remained the same. She continued with her schoolwork, hung out with her friends, and went on with her daily routines. But the electric blue sports car parked in her driveway served as a constant reminder that her life had changed in an unexpected way. It was a Wednesday afternoon when Lily finally took the time to sit down and think. The car had been sitting untouched for days, and despite the excitement she had initially felt, she couldn't shake the feeling of unease. She didn't feel ready to drive it, nor did she feel comfortable with the idea of being the owner of such a valuable gift. She had never asked for it, and the weight of it felt almost too heavy. Maybe I should just give it back, she thought to herself. The thought lingered in her mind, and she found herself standing by the car gazing at it for a long time. It looked flawless, every curve and detail shining in the sunlight, but it felt out of place. She didn't feel like it was hers. It was almost like a fantasy. As she stood there, her phone buzzed in her pocket. She pulled it out and saw a message from Mr. Stone. It was a simple text, but the words made her stop in her tracks. Just wanted to check in and see how you're doing. Let me know if you have any questions about the car. Lily hesitated before responding. She didn't want to seem ungrateful, but she also didn't know how to explain her feelings. Finally, she typed back, I'm doing okay, but I've been thinking a lot about the car. I'm not sure if I'm ready for something like this. She stared at the screen for a moment, then hit send. Immediately, the phone buzzed again. Mr. Stone's response came through almost instantly. I understand. Don't feel pressured. It's a big step, and I want you to feel comfortable with it. Let's talk more when you're ready. Lily felt a wave of relief wash over her. She had expected him to push her to take the car, to remind her of the gift he had given her, but his message was nothing like that. It was supportive, patient, and kind. The next day, Lily decided to go back to the dealership to speak with Mr. Stone in person. She felt like she needed some clarity. She didn't want to be rude or dismiss his gesture, but she also didn't want to accept something she wasn't ready for. She needed to understand why he had done it, and if it was truly meant for her. When she arrived at the dealership, the familiar shiny cars gleamed in the sunlight. She walked inside and was greeted by the receptionist, who led her to the back office where Mr. Stone was waiting. He looked up with a smile as she entered. Lily, it's great to see you. How are you? He asked, standing up to greet her. I'm good, thank you, Lily said, her voice unsure. I've been thinking a lot about the car and everything, and I just wanted to talk to you about it. Mr. Stone gestured to the chair across from his desk. Of course. Please take a seat. Lily sat down, her hands nervously fidgeting in her lap. I don't want to seem ungrateful, she began, her voice shaking slightly. But I've been feeling really overwhelmed. The car, it's just so much, and I don't feel ready for something like that. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it, or if I even deserve it. Mr. Stone listened intently, nodding as she spoke. When she finished, he leaned back in his chair and gave her a thoughtful look. I understand completely, Lily, he said quietly. When I gave you the car, I wanted to show my appreciation for your kindness, but I never wanted to put pressure on you. You've done something incredibly rare, returning something that wasn't yours without hesitation. That kind of honesty is something I value deeply, but if the car isn't something you feel comfortable with, then that's okay. Lily felt a sense of relief. His words were reassuring, and she could feel the kindness in them. But why did you do it? She asked. I don't understand why you chose me. I'm just a regular teenager. I didn't expect anything in return. Mr. Stone smiled softly. Sometimes kindness deserves to be rewarded, Lily. And sometimes it's about recognizing people who have something special inside them. I saw that in you when you returned my keys. It wasn't about the car or the value of the gift. It was about showing you that kindness doesn't go unnoticed. Lily thought about his words for a moment. I never thought of it that way, she said quietly. I guess I've always just tried to do what feels right, but I never expected it to lead to something like this. Mr. Stone nodded. And that's exactly why you deserve it. You didn't do it for recognition. You did it because it was the right thing to do. And that's something to be proud of. Lily smiled, feeling a weight lift off her shoulders. She still wasn't sure what she wanted to do with the car, but hearing Mr. Stone's perspective helped her understand the intent behind his gesture. Thank you for understanding, she said, her voice more confident now. I just needed to know if it was okay to feel the way I do. Of course, Mr. Stone replied. Take your time, Lily, there's no rush. You can decide when and how you want to move forward with the car. Just know that it's here for you whenever you're ready. Lily felt a sense of peace settle over her. She had been carrying around so much uncertainty, but now she understood that she didn't have to rush. There was no pressure to accept something she wasn't ready for. Mr. Stone's kindness and understanding made all the difference. As she left the dealership that day, Lily felt like she had gained more than just clarity. She had gained a deeper understanding of herself and what it meant to make choices based on kindness, not obligation. She didn't have to prove anything to anyone. She didn't have to accept anything she wasn't ready for. And that realization gave her a sense of freedom. Back home, she spent the next few days thinking about her options. She continued to drive her old car, the one she had always used to get around, and she realized that it still had a lot of value to her. It wasn't the shiny sports car, but it was hers. It represented her life the way it was before all of this happened. Eventually, Lily came to a decision. She would keep the car, but not because she felt obligated. She would keep it because it was a symbol of the kindness she had shown and the kindness she had received. But for now, she didn't need to rush into anything. She would take her time, learn more about the car, and decide what role it would play in her life. When she finally drove the electric blue sports car for the first time, it wasn't because she felt pressured. It was because she had come to terms with the fact that it was a gift she could accept on her own terms. And as she cruised down the street, the wind in her hair, she realized that sometimes the best things in life come when you least expect them, and that kindness always comes back in ways you never imagined. It had been a few weeks since Lily had taken the electric blue sports car for her first drive. The initial excitement had started to wear off, but the car still felt like a symbol of everything that had happened. It wasn't just a fancy gift. It represented kindness, both the kindness she had shown and the kindness that had been extended to her. Every time she looked at it, she was reminded of the person she had become because of that one decision to return Mr. Stone's lost keys. Over the past few days, Lily had begun to realize that the car wasn't the only change in her life. Her outlook had shifted too. She had always believed in doing what was right, but now she understood just how much impact small acts of kindness could have. When she returned the keys, she never expected anything in return, but her life had taken an unexpected turn, showing her that sometimes doing the right thing leads to amazing, unforeseen results. One afternoon, Lily sat in her room staring out the window. It was a quiet day, and she found herself thinking about the future. She had so many choices ahead of her, choices about school, friends, and even the car. As a teenager, it was easy to feel like she had to make big decisions that would shape the rest of her life. But for the first time in a while, Lily felt a sense of calm. She wasn't rushing through life. She was learning to take things one step at a time. She heard a knock on the door and her mom walked in, holding a cup of tea. You look deep in thought, she said with a smile, setting the tea on Lily's desk. Lily smiled back. I guess I am. I've just been thinking about everything that's happened. The car, Mr. Stone, how everything's changed since I returned those keys. Her mom sat down on the edge of the bed. It's a lot to process, I'm sure. But you've handled it so well. I can see you've grown from all of this, Lily nodded. Yeah, I guess I have. It's funny. I never thought one small action could change so much. I mean, I was just doing what felt right. I didn't expect to get anything in return, let alone a car. Her mom chuckled softly. Well, sometimes life has a funny way of rewarding us for doing good things. But what matters most is that you stayed true to yourself. Lily took a sip of her tea and stared out the window again. I still don't fully get it. I mean, what did I do that was so special? I just returned some keys. Anyone would have done that, right? Her mom looked at her with a knowing smile. Not everyone would have, sweetheart. You were kind, thoughtful, and honest. Those qualities aren't always easy to find in people. You showed that you care, and that's why Mr. Stone wanted to reward you. But the real reward is the person you're becoming. Lily thought about her mom's words for a while. She had always tried to be a good person, but this whole experience had shown her that kindness could change lives, even in the smallest of ways. The way Mr. Stone had looked at her, the way he had appreciated her honesty. Those moments were worth more than any material gift could ever be. And in some strange way, she felt that the car was a reminder to keep being that person, to always choose kindness, no matter the outcome. The next day, Lily decided to take the car out again. This time she wasn't driving for the thrill or excitement. She just wanted to feel the wind on her face, to have a quiet moment of reflection. As she cruised down the road, she passed the park where she used to walk with her friends. She could see them sitting on a bench chatting and laughing. It made her smile. Life felt normal again, even though so much had changed. Lily pulled over and got out of the car. Her friends waved at her as she walked toward them, and they immediately started asking about the car. "So you really got a new car?" one of them asked with a raised eyebrow. Lily grinned. "Yeah, I did. It's a gift, actually. Mr. Stone gave it to me." Her friends exchanged surprised looks. "Wait, the guy who owns the dealership? He gave you a car?" Lily nodded. "Yeah, he did. It's kind of crazy, right? But honestly, I didn't expect anything like this. I just returned his lost keys and he said it was a reward for being kind." One of her friends raised an eyebrow. "That's pretty amazing. I don't know if I'd ever expect something like that to happen." Lily shrugged. "I didn't either. But I've learned that sometimes the right thing to do leads to unexpected rewards." The group sat together on the bench, chatting about the car and the events of the past few weeks. Lily realized that in sharing her experience, she wasn't just telling them about the car, she was also telling them about the lesson she had learned. That kindness had its own rewards, not always immediate or obvious, but they were there, waiting for those who chose to act with a good heart. Over the next few weeks, Lily found herself in more situations where she could apply the lessons she had learned. She noticed her friends being more thoughtful, her teachers more understanding. It was as if kindness was contagious, spreading in ways she hadn't noticed before. And with each small act of goodwill, Lily felt herself growing stronger and more confident in who she was becoming. One evening, as Lily sat on the porch with her mom, watching the sunset, she realized just how much had changed in such a short time. She still had the same friends, the same routines, but her perspective had shifted. She felt like she was starting to understand the bigger picture of life, the importance of integrity, of kindness, and of making choices that align with your values. "You know, Mom," Lily said, "I've been thinking, maybe the car isn't just about the reward. Maybe it's a reminder to always do the right thing no matter what, to always be kind even when it feels like no one's watching." Her mom smiled warmly. "That's a beautiful way to look at it, Lily. You've learned something incredibly valuable, and I think it's going to guide you for the rest of your life." Lily nodded, feeling a sense of peace. She wasn't sure where life would take her next, but for the first time, she felt confident that she was on the right path. She had learned that kindness mattered, that small actions could make a big difference, and that the true reward wasn't always something tangible. It was the growth that came from doing what was right. As the days passed, Lily continued to embrace the lessons she had learned. She drove the car when she felt like it, but she also kept doing the little things that mattered. The kind words, the helping hands, the thoughtful gestures. She knew that those were the things that truly made a difference, and they were the things that would define her journey no matter where it took her. And so, the electric blue sports car became more than just a gift. It became a symbol of everything Lily had learned about kindness, about living with integrity, and about finding peace in the simple things. As she looked ahead, she knew that no matter what came her way, she would always remember the lesson that had started with a small act of kindness, and the unexpected rewards that followed.